champion. That is incredible.
This is ABC Sports.
It's prime time in Miami, and this city is ready for Monday Night Football. The New England Patriots made it all the way to the Super Bowl last season.
Play action fake, Bledsoe rolling right, looking, fires, touchdown and a touch. Patriots take the lead.
But it was a lead that would not last, and the Patriots came up one game short of their first ever world championship. Drew Bledsoe leads the Patriots on another run at the Super Bowl next week. They hope to play at home in New England, but they must win tonight to clinch the division title. 25 years ago, the Miami Dolphins won back-to-back Super Bowls.
The Dolphins have won Super Bowl VII and completed the greatest season in NFL history.
The great Dan Marino took the Dolphins to the Super Bowl 13 years ago. They're back in the playoffs this season, and he's dying for another shot at the title.
When I first was in the league, it seemed like it was pretty easy for us as a team to get there, and then you look at it, and then it's 10, 12 years later, and you have them back. So you learn to appreciate how tough it is to even get to that game.
Two playoff teams take their final steps before the postseason run to the Super Bowl. It's the Patriots and the Dolphins on ABC's Monday Night Football.
Showdown, baby. It's a showdown.
We got the noise. Bring on the game.
Like a freight train moving at the speed of light, like a knockout punch in a title fight. It's a great matchup in the season finale. The Patriots are launched into Miami. You better be ready. You better get right. New England and the Dolphins wrap it up tonight. Hit it. Come on and hit it. Come on and get ready. Are you ready for some football? A Monday night party. We got Frank and Al and Dan. They're gonna get it started. Chris and Lynn are all set. The crowd is sight. All my rowdy friends are here on Monday night.
Bring on the game.
The skyline of Manhattan on Miami on a beautiful South Florida night. Temperature about 74 degrees. And Pro Player Stadium sold out. Great matchup for you tonight. The New England Patriots in town to take on the Miami Dolphins. Hello again, everyone. Well, I got my Florida straightened out, and we do have a great game coming up as we wrap up the 1997 regular season for you tonight. The New England Patriots in to take the Miami Dolphins. The winner of tonight's game, quite simply, will win the AFC Eastern Division champion. They will become the Eastern Division champion. They will host the first-round playoff game next Sunday against the loser of tonight's game. And in the unlikely event this should wind up in a tie, Al, I get a few things straightened out here. The winner of the division will be New England on the strength of a 27-24 victory 4 weeks ago in a game that Miami would like to forget.
And mainly the Patriots won that game because of their defense. They ran back 2 Dan Marino interceptions for touchdowns. This has been a very up and down season for the Patriots. Pete Carroll took over for Bill Parcells. They came out of the blocks 4-0, but then they lost 4 out of 5. However, they've rebounded. They are playing very well despite that wrenching loss they suffered last Saturday to the Pittsburgh Steelers in a game they led by 8 points with 2 minutes to play. They lost the game, but they still go to the playoffs. However, they come into tonight's game with a very short deck. Again, Curtis Martin, their ace running back with a separated shoulder, will miss his 3rd straight game. They hope to have him ready to play on Sunday. Thus, no running game again tonight. They'll have to win on the right arm of Drew Bledsoe, and they hope that right arm will carry them through the playoffs, much as, Dan, the Miami Dolphins, what else is new, hope to ride the right arm of Dan Marino through the playoffs.
It's an interesting story down here in South Florida, Al, and that concerns the future of Dan Marino. And let's face it, Dan joined his teammates last week in a really rocky performance against the Indianapolis Colts, blown out by the Colts 41-0. And as Al mentioned, he had 2 interceptions returned for touchdowns in the Patriots game a month ago. He actually threw 3 in the game. So tonight, everybody's looking at how Dan Marino closes out 97, wondering if he'll be the quarterback for Jimmy Johnson in 98. Now, the absence of Curtis Martin, a big break for the Dolphins defensively tonight. They can overplay the passing game, disregard the run. That is a colossal break for a defensive football team that has been struggling lately. Well, we'll find out who wins the AFC East when we come back to Miami right after this.
The AFC Division Championship was a goal that Jimmy Johnson set for his team. I'm Lynn Swan. Welcome to the sideline. But, Coach, you're going to play the same guys next week, regardless of who wins. Is that division champion meaningful to you at this point?
Well, Lynn, this group started talking about winning the division back last summer. And with the majority of our players being first and second year players, I think it would give them some confidence and some credibility as far as going on from here.
More important to say that they're division champions and a wild card team in the playoff.
Well, you can play at home the whole bit. The main thing, again, is that their confidence level, for them to say kind of have a notch in their gun that they've accomplished something.
Coach, thank you and good luck tonight.
All right,
Al?
Thank you, Lynn. In regard to what Jimmy said, the youth of the team, the Dolphins with 24 players who are not yet 25 years old. And that equals the most of any team in the league. Olindo Mate to kick off. There's a look at Dave Meggett, who will play tonight. He had been questionable coming in. Derek Cullors and Chris Canty back to receive for New England on a balmy night in South Florida. The kickoff goes into the end zone, and Cullors will down it there. So now the Patriots. Drew Bledsoe at the age of 25 out of Washington State. 28 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Good numbers, an 88.6 rating. And with Martin gone, Cullors, the running back, Gash, the fullback, Jefferson, and Terry Glenn is returning. He's been out with a hamstring. Coach, the tight end. Armstrong, Lane, Woolabar, Rucci, and Moss, the interior five. Bruce Armstrong will be going to the Pro Bowl this year again from the 20-yard line on first down. With Cullors in the backfield, Cullors swings to the outside and gets taken down at the 22-yard line. The seemingly omnipresent Zach Thomas makes the tackle, the middle linebacker. Gain of 2. Up front for the Dolphins defensively, Armstrong. Bowen's a good one. Gardner and the good-looking rookie Jason Taylor. Harris is quick. Thomas in the middle, and Derek Rogers, the rookie from Arizona State. Buckley and Madison are the corners. Wooden and Jackson are the safeties. Calvin Jackson was taken off the field on a stretcher last week. Spent Sunday night in Indianapolis Hospital with a neck injury, but well enough to start tonight. On 2nd and 8, it's Cullors. Stopped at the 22 by Darrell Gardner. And again, the New England running game so inept without Martin, and on their first 2 plays, and there's Curtis Martin, and they just hope to have him back on Sunday.
Well, with him, Al, they're 24th in the National Football League coming into this game, so they would love to run the football, and most teams would. They don't run the football nearly as well as they throw the football, and Drew Bledsoe over the past 4 years has thrown more footballs than any player in the history of this game has thrown over 4 years. So they are a passing team.
3rd down and 8, a 4-man rush. Good protection, and the pass is deflected and incomplete. Off the hands of Sam Gash, and it's 3 and out.
Well, the huge thing for Miami defensively is that they can take their strong safety, Sean Wooden, who normally they have to commit to the running game. He is now entirely devoted to the passing game. And you know that he's going to be all over Ben Coates no matter where he is. That ball just glances off of Gash's hands. But what a huge advantage to be able to commit your strong safety to the passing game, and what a punt.
Tom Tupa, a monster kick on the fly at the 12-yard line, and Buckley picks it up as it rolls around, and he brings it back to the 18. Tupa trying to win the punting title, 2nd in the league. Bledsoe in a heated discussion on the bench. That's a 65-yard kick.
Oh, he crushed that.
Whoa.
Now Miami takes over for the first time. The great Dan Marino, part of the class of '83, year 15. In the backfield, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with Stanley Pritchett. Perriman and McDuffie are the wideouts, and Drayton is the tight end. Could be a big factor tonight. Webb, Bucky, Ruddy, McIver, and Brown up front. And since the Dolphins last appeared on Monday night, Keith Sims gone. Wave, the guard who came up with Webb a few years ago, and it formed a terrific left side of the offensive front. On first down, it's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar picking up just a couple to the 20-yard line. Defensively for New England, Chris Sullivan, Eaton, Henry Thomas, the longtime Viking, and McGinnis up front.
Slade, Johnson, and Todd Collins are the linebackers, and the secondary is good. Law, Hitchcock having a fine season. Malloy and Clay are the safeties. The Dolphins with their first possession, 2nd down and 8 from the 20-yard line with McDuffie in motion. And they give it to Abdul-Jabbar, and he picks up 4 to the 24. He is still their primary running back, though we will see a lot of Lawrence Phillips tonight. Ted Johnson made the last tackle.
We talked earlier about the game 4 weeks ago when Miami lost 27-24. Dan Marino had his high in yardage production that day, 389 yards. He was 38 of 60, but he threw those 3 interceptions, 2 returned for touchdowns. But the Patriot defense is vulnerable to the pass. They have a good run defense, 8th in the league against the run, but they are weak against the pass. Marino knows that.
You're not going to win many ball games throwing the football 60 times.
No, you're not. And they didn't.
3rd down and 4 out of the shotgun. McPhail and Parmalee flanking Marino. Everybody into the pattern. And open at the 36-yard line is Lamar Thomas. 1st down, Miami.
Lamar, it wasn't that good a catch.
No, it wasn't, but New England with their zone defense, it's going to be interesting to see what New England decides to do against Marino. If they go into a zone and give him time to throw the football, we're going to have plays like this, wide open in that zone. If they come with the blitz, they can pressure him, and then they run the risk that he's going to get the free man, give up the big play. With this gambling, whether or not they play back in the zone, lay off, or go with the blitz. They like to blitz.
1st down at the 38. Roosevelt Potts is in the game at fullback. And now he and Abdul-Jabbar are split backs. Again, everyone into the pattern. Potts makes the catch, and the ex-Colt takes it out to the 50-yard line for a 1st down. Tackled by Willie Clay, a 12-yard pickup for a man who, like Phillips, is a reclamation project for Jimmy Johnson.
Well, it was a good change up at the line of scrimmage by Dan Marino. Nobody does it better. He comes up, changes the play, gets it off with 1 second remaining, and this is the play he automatic to. It was a perfect call by Marino.
And Al, you're absolutely right. Potts is just the kind of a player that Jimmy Johnson, he signs him really to basically a minimum wage contract. It's all upside, very little downside. Potts, with all the problems in Indianapolis, nothing to lose.
Marino started to slip and gets it away, and it's caught by Abdul-Jabbar. And he's off to the races. Inside the 30. Taken down to the 24 by Lawyer Malloy.
Well, right now, when you look at the emotional level that the Miami Dolphins have started this game, you have to say the worst thing that happened to the Patriots is the fact that the Colts beat the Dolphins 41-0 last week.
And Dan, New England came with that blitz, and they got burned by the blitz. Marino was able to dodge the 1 tackle and then got rid of the ball.
Did anybody think it was possible for Miami to play a bad football game tonight after what happened to them last week? A humiliation.
Ted Johnson is the linebacker on the blitz that missed. Marino sidestepped him and gets the big play.
27-yard gain, and now Marino has to take a timeout with the play clock running down. So Miami driving on their first possession. 5 minutes into the game, no score. The Miami Dolphins with 9:47 remaining in the opening quarter. No score in Miami. Took a timeout. Lawrence Phillips, we talked about Potts, a reclamation project. Potts is a guy who missed a year because of violating the substance abuse policy, and Phillips' problems beginning in Nebraska well chronicled. The Rams finally had to give up on him. We'll see a lot of him tonight. Johnson expects him to play about 1/3 of the time. Yet to make an appearance, though, on this drive. 1st down at the 24-yard line as Marino retreats and throws, and Abdul-Jabbar off his fingertips can't hold on. 2nd down and 10. Clay and Hitchcock providing the coverage.
Classy Marino pass. He had a man who was fairly well covered, but he put the ball where it's not going to be picked off. This is a ball that Jabbar, I think, knows he should have caught. Certainly feels he should have caught, but Marino wasn't going to put it in front of him where he would risk the interception.
Yeah, the ball was just a touch behind Jabbar. It could have been laid out maybe a foot or two, but you're splitting hairs when you get to that point.
2nd and 10, double tight end set for the Dolphins. Abdul-Jabbar the sole back. And look out as Marino gets taken down at the 33. That time, Johnson didn't miss him.
And people in the National Football League have known that the most successful way to blitz Dan Marino is not off the corners. He's far too effective that way. It's right up the middle. And that time, Ted Johnson comes through the guard center gap, and Dan Marino tries to sidestep him, but not the quickest of quarterbacks. That's not Steve Young back there. Ted Johnson makes a good sack.
A little deal up front, and Ted Johnson came through with nobody touching him.
10-yard loss on the sack. Last week facing Cordell Stewart. Stewart threw 48 times, and New England did not have a single sack. 3rd down and 20. Marino protected well this time and guns it incomplete over the head of Brett Perriman. So the drive bogs down, and now they're looking at a 50 or 51-yard field goal, and Olindo Mate, their kicker, has not kicked one more than 42 yards this season.
Another little change up defensively there for New England. 7 defensive backs, 3 down linemen, and a linebacker.
He's only tried, I believe, 3 over 42 yards and has missed all 3 of them. So rarefied air here for Olindo Mate.
51-yard attempt. John Kidd to place it down. And Mate obviously has a great leg because he kicks off with regularity into the end zone, boots it through by 9 yards, the longest of his career. Doug Levens, the kicking coach, a happy man. 3-zip.
Officially a 50-yard field goal for Olindo Mate. And take a look at this ball. Not only was it right down the middle, but well up into the net. Frank, tape measure, that had to be at least 56 or 57.
Huge, and look at that kickoff.
8 yards into the end zone. Gary Stevens, the offensive coordinator, and Dan Marino going over things. A drive that started out brilliantly. Then they called the timeout, and they settled for 3. Reggie Brown, the Lions linebacker, a 4-hour spinal surgical procedure today, listed in stable condition. We'll elaborate in a second as we bring you NFL news presented by Budweiser. Colts fired Coach Lindy Infante, Vice President Bill Tobin, and Panthers GM Bill Polian becomes the president of the team. And the Giants signed tight end Alfred Papunu, longtime Charger, who also is with the Chiefs, and the Giants getting ready for their playoff game against Minnesota. Bledsoe from the 20 hits Coates, and he gets 8 yards on a 1st down play. On Reggie Brown, that scary sight, of course, the 17-minute delay yesterday. 4-hour spinal surgery today, fusing the 1st and 2nd vertebrae. He'll wear that halo collar for about 3 months. He'll be in the hospital for 2 weeks. And the doctor is saying that he does have feeling in all 4 extremities. In the next 72 hours to 2 weeks will be very critical, and they'll have a better idea as to the prognosis then. 2nd and 2. And Colors takes the ball up to the 34 for a 1st down, tackled by Rodgers.
And I think Pete Carroll and his offensive coordinator, Larry Kennan, are doing the right thing right here. They have got to try to get something out of their running game. They cannot abandon it entirely. They can't just make Drew Bledsoe try to throw the football every single down. Even though you take their last 2 games together, they don't even have 100 yards rushing without that guy right there, Curtis Martin. They have got to try against this Dolphins defense, or else they're in big trouble.
Short drop, Bledsoe throws, and it's caught by Sean Jefferson, who gets wrestled down at the 41-yard line by Sam Madison.
And Sam Madison, a rookie, explain to me why he's celebrating after a guy catches a pass in front of him.
7-yard gain. That's a pretty good gain.
Maybe his ankle held out. He had a real sore ankle the past few weeks.
What's happened?
I agree.
What's happened in this game that a guy catches the ball, holds on to it, and because you threw him to the ground, the guy gets an 8-yard completion, and you're really happy about that?
Unanswerable question. 2nd down and 3. Colors. And a flag before the snap. Ben Coates was moving. The tight end, and that's going to bring it back. Tom White is tonight's referee.
And Coates coming off another great Pro Bowl year.
Prior to the snap, false start. The right angle, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
So it's just jumping the snap count. They'll back him up. There he is with the reverse look, and Coates just Missing the snap count.
Yeah,
it happens to the best.
It wasn't because of crowd noise. It really wasn't that loud here at the snap of the football.
2nd and 8, as you saw, Coach with a lot of success against Miami through the years. Colors up to the 39. Derek Colors picks up a couple. It'll be 3rd down and 4. Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Plymouth. More fun, more car.
Of your running game than the tight end.
Oh, absolutely. If you don't have a running game, you can keep him on the line of scrimmage. And right now, you have to play the run.
You have to think it's going to be a lot tougher for Ben Coates to find creases tonight without a strong Patriot running game.
3rd and 5. Play clock all the way down. Dave Meggett is in the game. He stays in the block. Pass is rifled over the middle and incomplete. Intended for Troy Brown, who was hit hard by Zach Thomas. And Brown still down.
That's a tough spot to send a 190-pound receiver. That is asking a lot of a guy who's 5'10", 190 pounds. That's the place where only the big boys go after footballs in there.
Another look at it. Zach Thomas just really popped him right under the shin with the shoulder. Down he goes.
Ben Coates wouldn't have been thrilled about going in there for a football, much less a relatively smallish wide receiver.
Zach Thomas, one of the many youngsters on this team, a 5th-round draft pick. We saw him break his fibula in a preseason game in Mexico, missed the opening game of the season, and he works that area tough.
Well, with Brown shaken, Terry Glenn has missed several games, but he's back tonight with that hamstring pull. Patriots just trying to keep people healthy and get people healthy.
Yeah, Glenn's missed the last 5, and we were told by Pete Carroll that he got good work in, but by Terry's own admission, he hasn't really put the full burst on. He was saving that for tonight. We'll see if Tupa here can send another one into the stratosphere.
Tough year for Terry Glenn. Missed the first couple of games with an ankle and then pulled that hamstring, and he's had a real problem-filled year.
Tom Tupa had a 65-yard kick. His first effort. This one a lot shorter, fielded at the 13 by Terrell Buckley. And Buckley pointing out where he wants the blocking to go. Brings it all the way back to past the 40-yard line.
And Tupa got
43.
And Tom Tupa made the tackle, and Mike Westhoff can't believe it.
5:40 remaining in the opening quarter. Playing for home field advantage in the AFC East title. 3-0 Dolphins.
Terrell Buckley made it past all 10 of the Patriots with the exception of punter Tom Tupa, and he made a colossal stop for the Patriots. Buckley would have cruised to the end zone untouched.
Lawrence Phillips in the game for the first time from the 38-yard line, and Marino pump fake throws, hits Brett Perriman for a first down to the Patriot 45. A longtime Saint and Lion, who began this year with Kansas City and was hurt, has come in here and is now the #2 receiver to O.J. McDuffie.
Oh, what a great read, though. Brett Perriman just taking it down with a little slant to the inside. Marino was going out into the flat. He saw Perriman break clear and threw it just back across his body. Not across his body, just threw it back across the field. An incredible throw.
First and 10 from the 46-yard line. Phillips, his first carry of the night. Takes him to the 41-yard line. A gain of 4 as Chad Eaton makes the tackle. ABC has both wild card games coming up this week. The Vikings and the Giants. Mike Patrick, Joe Theismann, Ron Jaworski, and Leslie Visser will be on hand at the Meadowlands. And then our crew goes to Denver, the second half of that wild card doubleheader Saturday. The Jaguars and the Broncos in the rematch of last year's gigantic upset, as the Jaguars went in and knocked the Broncos out of the playoffs after the Broncos had been seeded first in the AFC. Doubleheader, wild card Saturday. Phillips works his way to the outside and can't get on track. Stopped at the 42 by Chris Sullivan for a loss of 1.
Phillips a little overweight, somewhere around 240 pounds. Probably should play around 225 to 230. And Jimmy Johnson's got an interesting philosophy. When he came in, he said, set him down. He said, I want you to do the right thing. And the right thing is what I think is the right thing.
But there's a classic Lawrence Phillips right there. Lawrence Phillips is not a scat back. Lawrence Phillips is a 230-pound bruising running back and he has no business taking a lateral jump at the line of scrimmage. He could have put his shoulder down, burrowed in there for a good solid 3 yards. He has got to start to do that.
3rd and 7. Here's the blitz, and Marino gets sacked for the 2nd time tonight. Chris Canty shoots in from the corner. Their #1 pick in the draft out of Kansas State, and Marino, who gets blitzed about once every 33 dropbacks, has already been put on his back twice in the 1st quarter.
Good scheme there. Pete Carroll, defensive coordinator, and a great one before he took over head coaching job here. There's nobody on Canty whatsoever. Nobody picked him up. It was a good read defensively. Canty knew he could come on this. Marino had nowhere to go. Didn't even have a chance to look for a receiver.
Well, a high-risk blitz when you blitz 2 defensive backs. You saw Willie Clay coming right alongside Canty.
Kidd with a kick. Meggett lets it go. I think I said Marino gets blitzed about every 33 dropbacks. He gets sacked once every 33, but the Pats have gotten there twice tonight. Yeah, twice too many for Johnson tonight. Still 3-0 Miami.
"13 years ago, Al, at the Super Bowl, we saw this man perform, and we thought we're going to see him in so many more Super Bowls, and he just hasn't got back there yet. Wants it so desperately."
And looking over his shoulder is Craig Erickson, and Dan touched on it at the top. A lot of speculation here about Dan's future, and if he goes, then the guy leaning over his shoulder is going to be the man under center next year.
He gets a pretty major pat on the back from Jimmy Johnson as far as saying Craig Erickson is a guy that I think can be a starting quarterback in this league.
Bledsoe on 1st down throws, and it's caught, and picking up the 1st down is Jefferson. He caught it 8.5 yards upfield, and after the contact is somehow able to take Rodgers and Harris with him across the 30 and a 1st down.
Well, Buckley had the coverage, and Buckley hurt his hand somehow. Terrell Buckley had the coverage, and instead of making the tackle, he had to bail out.
He's trying to avoid using a timeout as we look again. Buckley has hurt his hand, Dan. You're exactly right. He's holding it. He does not want to use a timeout.
1st and 10. It's Cullers. Derek Cullers is a kid who started his college career at TCU as a reserve there, and then he transferred to Murray State and had 1 great season as a senior.
Buckley wants out, and he's going to come out.
And Jerry Wilson will come in.
He might have dislocated a finger or something like that, and he wants to maybe have him pull it back or work on it or something. It's hurting him.
He stuck his right arm through, and you could see he probably got hit by the football.
He stayed in there, did not use a timeout, however.
2nd and 10. New England rushing the last 2 games, 2.5 yards per carry, a total of 97 yards. One of those games they won at Jacksonville. The other they felt they should have won last week against Pittsburgh. Meggett makes the catch, and Thomas makes the tackle. Dave Meggett with a tender hamstring. In fact, Pete Carroll telling us last night that Meggett was questionable in terms of being activated tonight.
Yeah, he's got the bad hamstring. And when you look at that total, the last 2 games of less than 100 yards, keep in mind that this is a team that loves to run the football. Curtis Martin was on his way to a 13, maybe even a 1,400-yard season. He's got 1,160 yards. So again, the philosophy of Larry Kennan, Pete Carroll, and this coaching staff of the Patriots, they love to run the ball.
3rd and 5. Buckley comes back into the game, so the corner was out for just 1 play. And Bledsoe fires, and it's off the hands of Coates with Thomas and Buckley covering on the play. 4th down.
And that double coverage on Ben Coates is what I think Drew Bledsoe can expect to see because of the fact that Curtis Martin is sitting this one out. The next most potent weapon is this man.
They split him out. He comes down like a wide receiver. He has the good moves of a wide receiver. That could have been picked off had Bledsoe thrown it to the numbers.
Tom Tupa with a 65-yarder and a 49-yarder trying to win the punting title. And another boomer as O.J. McDuffie fields it at the 14 and brings it back to the 26, and there is a flag down at the 40-yard line. That was a 50-yard kick. They still work on Buckley's finger, and we'll get the call from Tom White. Mike Westhoff, the Dolphin special teams coach.
And as we get closer to the playoffs, and this is almost like a playoff game, you can feel the hitting all the way up here in the broadcast booth. You can sense that this is different from just a regular season football game. You can hear the hitting. Clipping against the Dolphins, holding against the Dolphins, the double whammy.
Yeah.
Tupa with another booming kick. He's a superb athlete, Tom Tupa. Made a great saving tackle a moment ago, trying to win the punting title in the NFL, and a good backup quarterback.
Well, he was second in the league coming into Mark Royals of the Saints. He was trailing by 0.2 of a yard, and with his 3 kicks tonight, he's the leader. Not in the clubhouse yet.
But the coverage for the Patriots hasn't been great because his net is pretty far down the line. While he's competing for the title, the coverage they're back in the middle of the pack.
Multiple fouls on the receiving team. Holding number 29 during the return. That penalty is declined. Personal foul, low block during the kick. Number 24 over half the distance to the goal. First down. Timeout.
Sam Madison and Jerry Wilson are the culprits. 42 ticks left in the quarter. Marino and Miami on top by a field goal. End of the first quarter approaching. Shane Burton with the ice pack, and Terrell Buckley, who missed a play as they worked on his finger, loosening up along the sideline as the Miami Dolphins have been pushed back to their 7-yard line after the punt. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the running back. Sole back in this set. On first down, Abdul-Jabbar tries to give them some breathing space up to the 11-yard line. Here's tonight's Home Depot coaches fact, and it involves Jimmy Johnson. The highest winning percentage in postseason history belongs to Vince Lombardi, who was 9-1. Jimmy 7-1 in his years at Dallas, and then Joe Gibbs, Tom Flores, and Bill Walsh round out the top 5, minimum 8 games. Jimmy, of course, with the 2 Super Bowl titles at Dallas, and Barry Switzer with the Cowboys' 3rd of the decade. Second down and 6, and that will be the end of the first quarter. End of 1 in Miami. The Miami Dolphins lead the New England Patriots 3-0, and Monday Night Football resumes after this message and a word from our ABC station. And we start the second quarter in Miami. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Deerdorf, and Lynn Swann. Miami and New England battling for the AFC East Championship. Second down and 6 for the Dolphins from the 11-yard line. Little swing pass. Abdul-Jabbar makes the catch, turns it back upfield, and is close to a first down. You know, guys, one thing we should bring out tonight is not only does the winner get to stay at home next week, it's conceivable the winner of this game, if they advance, knock off Pittsburgh on the road, could host the AFC Championship game as well.
And one thing, you know, if you lose this game, you have no chance of doing anything other than playing on the road. And nobody has ever had to play 3 playoff games and won the Super Bowl.
And the weather in Boston tonight, 33 degrees. They're expecting snow.
Third down and 1 from the 17-yard line. And Abdul-Jabbar picks up the first down.
For those of you that immediately think about the Raiders, keep in mind they only had to play 2 playoff games prior to playing in the Super Bowl, and that's a big difference.
In the 1980 season.
That's right. Now you have to play 3 playoff games to get to the Super Bowl if you enter as a true wild card. Time of possession about equal. Not a whole lot of offense. Just less of it for the Patriots.
Not a whole lot of rushing by either team.
Nope.
First down from the 20-yard line. Lawrence Phillips in the game. And Phillips stopped for a minimal gain. Just to clean up what we talked about in terms of the playoff picture, the loser of this game goes to the playoffs, but would have to win 3 road games, period, to get to the Super Bowl. The winner hosts a wild card game, then would have to go to Pittsburgh. Then they would have to go to Kansas City if Kansas City advances to the AFC Championship game to play there, or if Kansas City were to lose to Denver or Jacksonville, then the winner of this game, should they advance, would host the Broncos or the Jaguars.
Hope everyone took notes.
Absolutely. Second down and 10. Erwin Corey is on hand to elaborate. Marino throws, caught up at the 27-yard line by Troy Drayton, who fights his way to the 29, still short of the first by about a yard. 3rd and 1.
I'm going to go back and correct myself. The rules changed in 1978, extending the playoffs for the wild card team. The Raiders did win 3 playoff games before they went on and won the Super Bowl. So I go to the back of the class, stand in the corner, and stare at the wall for 15 minutes. I'll be back.
Yep. No Christmas vacation.
Start to watch right now.
You can stare at the island of Manhattan.
I'm next.
You mean I can stay?
You can stay.
3rd down and 1. It is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar up to the 32-yard line. The Dolphins, for years, we heard it during the Shula years. Gary Stevens, the offensive coordinator, and Jimmy Johnson talking about establishing the running game. But when you look at it, this team is averaging just 3.2 yards per rush this season, which is near the bottom.
Well, he inherited an offensive line that was a very good pass blocking line, but because they didn't have to, they were not a very good run blocking line. One of the stalwarts on that line, as Al mentioned, Keith Sims, is already gone. And there will be more retooling and revamping of this offensive line before next season.
First year in years that Richmond Webb hasn't gone to the Pro Bowl.
Marino buys a ton of time, going deep downfield, leaping up and making the catches. Brett Perriman.
No, they're saying no.
Say no. He didn't hold on. Dropped the football.
Did not control it. And he's not going to argue it.
Jimmy Hitchcock going up with him.
Well thrown ball by Marino, but Perriman, who has over 500 receptions at New Orleans and Detroit, and released by Kansas City in October, comes down with the football. He'll battle it for it.
And Jimmy Hitchcock, pretty good coverage because he gets that right hand on the football. Look at the right hand of Hitchcock. He's on that football, and he really doesn't allow Perriman to pull it into his body. Very, very good coverage by Jimmy Hitchcock.
2nd down and 10 with McDuffie in motion. Marino guns one into the arms of Abdul-Jabbar at the 37-yard line, about 4 yards shy of the first. Chris Slade makes the hit. Slade will be going to the Pro Bowl this year. The Patriots have sent 5 guys to the Pro Bowl. The Dolphins, none. Not a single Miami player goes to the Pro Bowl. We asked Jimmy Johnson last night, did they overlook anybody? He said, nope.
Jimmy's not shy about telling you what he thinks.
He didn't throw a lot of bouquets around either.
As Frank mentioned, the upset maybe is Richmond Webb 7 consecutive times, and then for the first time ever, a no-go.
3rd down and 5, blitz in the corner, and then the pass is off the fingertips of Lamar Thomas, and it's 4th down.
Boy, and thus far, the Patriots have been coming with a 7 defensive back defense, and they've been blitzing off it and disrupting Miami's timing. And Pete Carroll likes it. But a good scheme they've got going tonight. A very dangerous one, but it's working.
Steve Sidwell, the defensive coordinator. Long-time defensive coordinator at New Orleans under Jim Moore during that regime.
And then Houston, he's been around.
John Kidd to punt. Dave Meggett, who's returned more punts for more yardage than any player in NFL history. Back to haul it in at the 16-yard line. And taken down at the 13-yard line by Tim Jacobs. Good coverage. 10:20 left in the half. Miami 3, New England nothing. Goodyear blimp hovering high above Pro Player Stadium. Stars and stripes looking down upon the stadium. Full house looking on as Bledsoe under pressure, sacked from the rear by Trace Armstrong. Great coverage by the secondary, and that enabled Armstrong to go by him and come back and get him.
Oh, it was good coverage, and the man that Bledsoe wanted to go to was Ben Coates, and he had Zach Thomas underneath. He had Sean Wooden behind him, and no place for Bledsoe to put the football. Plenty of time. It was just excellent coverage.
And you could see Armstrong coming from behind, and Bledsoe did a nice job of holding on to the football, because this is where a quarterback fumbles, when he gets hit from behind and doesn't see it coming. An excellent job by Drew of covering up and holding on to the football.
2nd down, 14 from the 9-yard line. This is David Meggett. And Meggett up to the 13-yard line, setting up 3rd and long with 9.5 left in the half. Monday Night Football is being brought to you by the 1998.
And you can watch that game right before we go on the air from Denver, Frank.
Wildcard Saturday, 3rd down and 10, and whistles before the snap.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 77, offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Now that one, you can say that the crowd here at Pro Player Park had something to do with it. They are making some noise, realizing the Patriots backed up to their own goal line, and what was a tough job now just got 5 yards tougher.
Here it comes again. Fans in the end zone, they know they can impact on the quarterback and the line being able to hear his call.
3rd and 15, pressure from the backside. Bledsoe gets hit as he releases it, and Meggett makes the catch, but for a very minimal gain. Taken down by Calvin Jackson, and Tom Tupa comes in to punt. Jerry Wilson put the pressure on Bledsoe.
That should give excellent field position for Miami.
And while the Dolphins are ahead on the scoreboard 3-0, they're leading in celebrations about 7-0. Drew Bledsoe takes a shot from the blitz from Jerry Wilson, and the Dolphins playing with an awful lot of emotion tonight.
Tupa with 65, 49, and 50-yard kicks, and this is another beauty. Buckley fields it back at the 33-yard line, and Buckley with another good run back is taken down just before he reaches midfield, brought down by Bernard Russ.
Well, a great kick by Tupa in terms of distance, but very little hang time. Thus, a pretty good return for the Miami Dolphins.
55-yard boot. Miami, the two teams battling it out for the AFC East title. Drew Bledsoe and the Patriots trailing 3-0 as Dan Marino takes over at his own 48. Lawrence Phillips is the running back. Phillips. One reason Jimmy Johnson picked him up, as he said, that he can give us the big play. His story is well known, of course. A very troubled childhood, not to make excuses for him. Enormous problems at Nebraska, beat up his girlfriend. He's become like the poster boy for a lot of people for everything that's wrong with today's pro athlete. A kid who went to St. Louis. Dick Vermeil took him under his wing, and then even Dick had to give up. And Jimmy Johnson said, come on in here. You start fresh. See what happens this year. I'll bring you back next year. I want you to work in the offseason conditioning program. Trying to give him a new start. We'll see. 2nd down and 9 from the 49-yard line. That's caught by Stanley Pritchard out of the backfield, and a 1st down. Chris Slade makes the hit at the 38.
Finish up where we started earlier. Jimmy Johnson told him, said, I'm not going to give you a whole lot of rules. We're talking again about Lawrence Phillips. Said, I want you to do what's right, and I'm going to determine what's right. And if it isn't done right, you're out of here. And so for Lawrence Phillips, this could be the last stop.
Great talent, always gets another chance. You don't know how many more Lawrence Phillips has, but he has this one. If I were him, I'd make the most of it.
From the 40, Abdul-Jabbar taken down in the backfield. Brandon Mitchell, a backup defensive end, a rookie out of Texas A&M, with the tackle.
2nd-round draft pick this year out of Texas A&M, Allen, but that was a somebody blew that block there.
That's an amazing panel right there, because Phillips has all of this talent, yet for the guys who've carried the ball at least 300 times among active players, he has the lowest per carry average, and Abdul-Jabbar is number 4 on that list. And well, Phillips doesn't speak to Miami's problems in the rushing game, but Abdul-Jabbar does.
No, but I think Abdul-Jabbar's average is why Phillips is here.
2nd down and 14, and that is caught by Lamar Thomas, and Lamar Thomas is about 3 yards shy of the first. Ty Law stops him with 5.5 to go in the half.
Ty Law was thinking that Thomas would take that down and take it out for a 1st down. He came up short of the 1st down, and Ty Law was right there. Ty Law very aggressive on the corner, number 24. Now he thinks that Lamar Thomas is going to take it for enough yardage to get the 1st down. He doesn't. He gets the completion. So it leaves him 3rd and about 2.5, 3.
Good job by Thomaso at the conclusion of this. Instead of just going down, that effort right there is good for another yard and a half.
3rd and 3. Play clock all the way down to a half a second. And Abdul-Jabbar to the 30.5-yard line, and is going to be a little short of the first.
There's rare times that Dan Marino automatic off to a run. And averaging 3.2, you might understand why he would prefer to automatic to the pass, which does not bring a whole lot of smiles to Jimmy Johnson's face.
But Gary Stevens, the offensive coordinator, not wanting to send a Lindo Mate out there again.
Boy, Miami's had a tough time with 3rd and short and 4th and short.
4th and 1, so they eschew a shorter field goal. They already kicked a 50-yarder. And Abdul-Jabbar takes it to the 28-yard line. And a first down.
And don't you just sense that that is Jimmy Johnson saying, we will run the football.
Do not change it either.
That's right. The first day that he took this job, he said, we will run the football. And running teams on 4th and 1 run the football. McIver, Brown, and Ruddy to the right side. Nice crease. Good block by Troy Drayton there, number 84, the tight end. That's what a running team does on 4th and 1.
From the 28, blitz. Phillips taken down by Chris Slade at the 25-yard line. So Phillips unable to break one yet.
And also very quiet offensively for Miami tonight is Marino's favorite target, O.J. McDuffie. They're getting 2 on him as often as they can, and they're doing it with a lot of DBs. In the past situation, they've been going to as many as 7 defensive backs. There's McDuffie, the leading receiver.
Three minutes left in the half. Miami up 3-zip. 2nd and 7. Phillips. Hard-earned 3 to the 22, and a flag is thrown.
But that's the way he ought to take it in there. It's going to come back, but there should be a price to be paid for tackling a back as big as Lawrence Phillips. It should hurt to tackle a man that powerful. And too many times, a guy brings him down just with a glancing blow because
76.
he's dancing to the side.
10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
James Brown, the right tackle, he responsible for that play coming back. But you know that Jimmy Johnson will change the running style of Lawrence Phillips. You know, I look at what Bill Parcells did with Otis Anderson when O.J. made the trip from St. Louis to the New York Giants, and how productive he was with the Giants in those Super Bowl years. And I look at a guy like Lawrence Phillips. He's a guy that just needs to be retooled. And Jimmy Johnson, I think, is a guy capable of doing that.
It was 2nd and 17. Willie McGinnis jumped off, but the question was he induced?
I'll tell you how quickly you can retool with a few more offensive linemen.
False start. Number 77 offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Jeff Bucky induced him.
Talk about a running game for Miami. This is an offensive line, Dan, as you well know, is in transition. You talked about how they were principally aligned to block for the pass. Jimmy Johnson wants them to run. They've made multiple changes. They've had all kinds of different combinations in there, and they're struggling. And when you're a running back, you know that. It's not healthy.
2nd and 22. The Dolphins have used 6 different running backs tonight. Here's one of them, Bernie Parmalee, taken down at the 33 as we come to the 2-minute warning. Nice block that time by Bucky. 2-minute warning comes at officially 1:54 left in the half. In a tight one in Miami. 3-0 Dolphins.
But we're live.
And Pete Carroll looks on as his defense has to stiffen here. It is 3rd down and 14 for the Dolphins at the 32-yard line.
New England with their 7 defensive back defense. And the blitz.
Dumped off to Jarvis McPhail. And he takes it to the 24-yard line. It'll be 4th and 14.
But it's good enough to get down into field goal range. So it's a successful couple of plays for Miami that at least they move into scoring position.
There's such intensity. You touched on it a moment ago, Dan, hearing the hitting up here. But there is such intensity with this kind of a football game. And 3-0. It's hard to believe we'll be looking at one with just before half.
There ought to be intensity for the Miami Dolphins because they're the team I think that really needs to have the game be at home next week. I don't give them much of a shot of going to New England and beating the Patriots up there if they lose here.
Pats just took a timeout. Olindo Mate this season had not kicked a field goal longer than 42 yards, and tonight a 50-yarder. Now he'll attempt a 42-yarder. Ed Perry to snap it and John Kidd to hold it. And Mare bangs that one through. So he has accounted for all of the scoring. A minute 19 to the half. 6-0 Dolphins. Well, the Patriot defense has done a good job tonight, but offensively, nothing happening, and it's 6-0 Miami in the battle for the AFC East title. New England to get the ball now is Mate, who has accounted for all of the scoring with 2 field goals. To send it skyward. Olindo. Derek Cullors fumbles the ball, and then it is picked up at the 5-yard line by Chris Canty. And Canty takes it out to the 15-yard line. So a botched run back, and New England will start deep in its own territory, and the Patriots have 2 timeouts at their disposal.
You saw, look at Dave Maggott on the sidelines nursing that hamstring. He's been in on some offensive plays, but they're not using him where he is so valuable, and that is as a return man.
And you saw a 2-to-1 time of possession in favor of the Miami Dolphins. Not much being accomplished by the Patriots offensively tonight.
Bledsoe fires, and it is hauled in by Jefferson, who gets wrapped up by a trio, and then the ball is taken away by Jerry Wilson. And what are they going to rule here? The officials are standing at the 36.
They're going to talk about it.
Yep, the Dolphins are arguing, but there's been no indication yet from the officials.
Still no indication.
The officials are that they're the 2 officials discussing it. Sean Jefferson is down. It was pulled away from him.
But we still have absolutely no idea how this is going to be ruled. The only one thing going in New England's favor is the official hasn't moved from the spot. If he's going to say he was down, he's still marking the spot.
Field judge.
We have a fumble on the play. The ball is recovered. The whistle blew the ball dead at that time. First down.
So no touchdown, but the whistle blows the play dead. For what reason is the question?
The only way it could have been blown dead at the time is if the determination is after the ball came loose that Jefferson made contact with him.
Right, that's the key. If they didn't, it's a bad call.
All right, okay, the ball is definitely loose. Madison rips it out. Where is it recovered?
He may be ruling that Jerry Wilson was down also.
Well, certainly no New England Patriot made contact with Jerry Wilson. You know, from that look that we just saw right there, it looks like it should be a touchdown for the Dolphins.
And it looked like Wilson was on his feet.
It was the proper call by the official. Madison ripped the ball away from Jefferson. It was a fumble.
Right. First part of the call was right. Second part didn't appear to be right. Flags down.
In other words, Sean Jefferson would have had to become the defender and make contact with Wilson.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 78 offense, 5-yard penalty. First down.
It's a great call because if he made contact with him, it's incidental contact, but that is contact.
It's still contact. Again, here's the look. The ball is out. It is on its way to the ground. Jerry Wilson is on top of it, and at no time did Sean Jefferson make any contact with Jerry Wilson.
Right.
That could be ruled, I think, where he downed him at that spot.
And Wilson's knee never went down to begin with. Another reason. So Marino gets taken down by Larry Wiggum, who comes blitzing through. And the key part there is that Wilson never had his knee down to begin with. So even if Jefferson was given credit for stopping him, Wilson's knee would have to go down because of Jefferson's contact, which it never did.
And Jerry Wilson realizes that more than anyone else.
Well,
he wanted his touchdown.
The point is now, can the Patriots defensively pick up their offense? Can they once again try to make a stand here and cover for an offensive mistake?
Second down and 15 from the 41. Blitz, heavy blitz, pass is thrown and dropped. Jarris McPhail got open at the 22 in between a couple of defenders, and Ty Law with the coverage at the end of the play. Chris Canty came blitzing that time.
Frank Dan Marino could not have dropped it in any better than that.
Beautifully thrown. Again, New England with the terrific scheme, trying to get the coverage back there with the linebacker. And Marino, they had a linebacker in front, defensive back in the deep coverage, and Marino put it in there perfectly.
Third and 15. 14. O.J. McDuffie, their leading receiver, has yet to catch a ball tonight. 72 on the season. Third and 14. Marino, a little shovel. McPhail to the 33. At least it gets him into field goal range. Tackled by McGinnis, but you're looking at about a 50-yarder now for Mate.
Boy, again, 7 defensive backs leave Marino no place to put it, and he was heads up enough to get the little shovel pass and get a couple of yards out of it.
And New England's going to take a timeout.
And the yards they pick up on the shovel passes, those are the only yards that are allowing Mate to attempt this field goal. Patriots came with just a 3-man rush. That's a time where the quote-unquote prevent defense actually did its job.
And they've been changing it up very well, too. And there, Marino with no place to put the ball with the good coverage downfield. They either drop into coverage or come with the blitz, and it's been very effective for New England. And they have held Dan Marino at bay thus far in the first half. Good defensive scheme by New England. They just can't do anything offensively.
Well, the Miami offense and the New England defense are going to earn a well-deserved rest here at halftime. The Patriots offensively and the Miami defense are pretty well rested. They've not had to play a lot tonight.
This will be a 51-yarder. He's already kicked them from 50 and from 41. John Kidd to put it down. And the kick is hooking, but not in time. Just wide. Just looked like it was going to draw back in, but just stayed outside.
32 seconds now. Drew Bledsoe can think perhaps of moving his football team into field goal range.
Well, they took a timeout to conserve some clock. 32 ticks. They have one timeout to the Pats.
And right now, I'm sure Pete Carroll, when he goes into halftime, is going to tell his ball club, we are very fortunate. We've done nothing offensively, and we are a touchdown away from taking the lead in this football game. It's a very positive thing for the Patriots to only be trailing 6-0 right now.
Bledsoe from the shotgun. Throws over the middle, trying to get out of bounds is Vincent Brisby, and he does at the 50 to stop the clock. 25 seconds left. It'll be second down and 1. Oh, yes. Apparently Michigan is in the game. Is that correct?
Yes, apparently they are.
Thank you. Second down and 1 from the 49-yard line. Bledsoe trying to get him into field goal range. Guns one, and it's picked off at the 35 by Terrell Buckley. Buckley looking for somebody to lateral it to, then holds on. Stopped at the 42 with 10 seconds.
Buckley was looking for Deion Sanders, but he's not playing in the game tonight.
And Bledsoe upset with himself. He tried to force it into the coverage. Buckley made a good play on the ball. New England trying to get 3 on the board, and Bledsoe forces it into the coverage. Bledsoe underneath. Steps right in front of the receiver, the intended receiver there was Troy Brown. And Buckley with a nice return.
That's Buckley's 4th pick of the season and 3rd in the last 3 games.
Oh, he's having a good year. Gambles a lot, but sometimes it pays off, as it did then.
And Drew Bledsoe has played 2.5 games so far on Monday Night Football this year, and is probably wishing this game was on a Sunday afternoon.
New England in this first half did not once cross midfield. As we reach the half, the score, the Miami Dolphins 6 and the New England Patriots nothing. And right now we'll head to our studios in New York and check in there with Chris Berman. Chris.
All right, Al, thank you. And coming up on our Toyota halftime report, the piecing together of the NFL playoff puzzle and a day for the history books. Barry Sanders cracked the 2,000-yard barrier against the Jets, and in the process, Detroit scampered into the postseason on a surreal day. All that after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
New York studio, Chris Berman.
See, we've decked the halls. Happy holidays, everyone. Now, the final Sunday of the season was kind of like the 12th day of Christmas, in that now 12 teams have become partridges in the playoff pear tree. In 5 weeks, we'll know who will wear the golden ring. Golden? Well, nobody's more 24-karat gold than Barry Sanders, who became only the 3rd man ever to rush for 2,000 yards in a season. And consider this, he had only 53 yards after 2 weeks. In the next 14 games, he picked up 2,000. Wow. A mini playoff game at the Silverdome. Win and you're in, lose and you're gone. Only 20 yards at the half, but Barry and the Lions erased a 10-3 halftime deficit against the Jets with these patented moves and this 15-yard touchdown early in the 4th quarter. 13-10 Detroit. The play after he hit 2,000 on the nose. Let's get it go. 53-yard run. 2,053 yards on the season. The run cemented the Lions' win. And afterwards, his teammates thanked Barry for shouldering the load. Sunday, the Lions will play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And little Barry, if you will, the rookie Warwick, well done. 119 yards as the Bucs beat the Bears 31-15. His 76-yard run, the longest run in Bucs history, securing the first playoff game of the Big Sombrero since 1979. A big day for 3rd team from the NFC North Division. The Vikings had to win to get in. Randall Cunningham. As in his Eagles days with Chris Carter, all he does is catch touchdowns. 3 of them. But the big man on the day, the spin doctor, Robert Smith. Let's get it go for 160 yards on the day. Set a new Viking single-season rushing mark. He could go all the way. Okay, so he didn't. But it was 76 yards, 76 trombones. The Vikings beat the Colts 39-28, and they begin our wild card Saturday. Vikings at the Giants, 12:30 kickoff at the Meadowlands here at ABC. The second game, Jacksonville at Denver at 4 Eastern time. Boomer Esiason and I in the studio, pre, during, and post. Monday Night Memories. There's some that are etched in our minds forever. Coming up. Well, this season marks the 25th anniversary of NFL Charities. NFL Charities was established so that NFL clubs could collectively make grants to national nonprofit organizations in the areas of education, youth football development, physical fitness, and sports-related medical research. This year, NFL Charities will award grants totaling more than $5.5 million to more than 150 nonprofit agencies. Well, it has been quite a run this year on Monday Night Football. Certainly, we've had more than our share of thrillers and a few oddball plays this year as well. Began the first night of the season. Week 1 on the not-yet-frozen tundra at Lambeau Field. The Pack won the game, but the Bears' Todd Sauerbrunn and Jim Father Flanagan put the extra back into extra point. Week 2, Jeff George of the Raiders found out against the Chiefs that not all underhanded throws are winners. Then at the end, the Chiefs undermined him.
You're back going into the end zone and caught for the touchdown. Incredible.
Week 3, under a minute left. Troy Aikman of the Cowboys to Anthony Miller. Gave Dallas the lead against Philly. They'd hold it when the Eagles couldn't hold it.
And Hutton loses the football.
You believe this?
Bowl. Week 4, the Steelers hopped on the bus Gus. Jerome Bettis against the Jaguars. They hopped on him until he hit the bus stop. And at the end, when Pittsburgh blew a tire.
And it's blocked with a bad step. And Chris Hudson's going to roll all the way to the end zone.
Week 9, the Super Bowl rematch turned into a mismatch as Brett Favre and the Packers waylaid the Patriots 28-10, or shall we say, they chewed them up. And who could forget just 1 week ago tonight? Al, it has certainly been quite a run this year, right into tonight's playoff preview. Although I got to think this evening, neither team showing their full hand, huh?
Not to this point, Chris, but maybe we'll be set up for a dramatic finish because the AFC East title, as you know, is at stake. The winner will host a wild card game on Sunday. Then the winner of that game will have to go to Pittsburgh, but could conceivably host the AFC Championship game, while the loser would have to win 3 road games to get to the Super Bowl. Tonight, defense dominating. Olindo Mate had never kicked a field goal longer than 42 yards, but got the Dolphins on the board with a 50-yarder. Then he kicked a 41-yarder to make the score 6-0. And then the Dolphins had a chance to add even more because Drew Bledsoe, toward the end of the first half, went back to pass, hit Sean Jefferson, who makes the catch, but the ball is stripped, and then Jerry Wilson, number 24, will come in and pick it up. And then the whistle had blown. That had ended the play, but it was an inadvertent whistle. It shouldn't have been blown. Wilson goes in for what should have been a touchdown, and it should be 13-0. So the Patriots are very fortunate. It is only 6-0. That's our halftime score for Miami, with the Dolphins leading the Pats 6-0. And the second half coming up from Player Stadium after this. Bruce Armstrong, perennial Pro Bowler, the left tackle. His offense, though, has not crossed midfield in this game. They got to the 50 and no farther. And now Adam Vinatieri to kick off. Miami will get the ball as we start the third quarter in Miami. 6-0 Dolphins. Taken at the goal line. A flag is down. Jarvis McPhail, and in fact the flag was thrown apparently before the kick. Tom White is the referee.
Please be set. The stadium clock for 15 minutes. The reason for the whistle: the ball rolled out on the field and someone came out to pick it up prior to the ball being kicked. Therefore, we'll re-kick.
Okay. And before the re-kick, we can tell you that Monday Night Football is being brought
all that well with the 11 members of the Patriots kickoff coverage team that had to sprint 50 yards downfield and then have to be told that they have to do it all over again. Tom White doesn't have to move. He gets to remain stationary, but the Pats get to do it all over again. And on a pretty warm, unseasonably warm night here in southern Florida at sea level and kind of a humid night, that's not an easy task to do it twice.
So Vinatieri's first kick went to the goal line. This one is a shorter boot, taken at the 5 by Jarvis McPhail. And he's tripped up before he can reach the 20-yard line. Tackle made by Chris Carter. 6-0 as Marino gets ready to take over at the 19-yard line. Let's take a look at the numbers through the first half.
And the inept offense of New England is certainly reflected in time of possession.
And the Patriots defense being on the field for 20 minutes, almost of that first half, they have to be a little bit tired as we head into the second half. Time of possession 2-1 in favor of the Dolphins.
Miami beginning from the 20-yard line. McDuffie, who has not caught a pass, who's the man in motion. And Abdul-Jabbar slithers his way out to the 28-yard line for a nice gain. Willie Clay making the hit. Second down and 2.
And where does fatigue rear its ugly head on a defensive football team? It first starts to show up with missed tackles. And there were about 3 of them right there on that play. Nice run by Abdul-Jabbar, but sloppy tackling by the New Englanders.
Second and 2 from the 28. again. And he picks up a first down, a 4-yard gain after the 32-yard line. Well, the winner of this game hosts the wild card game. Miami, of course, would stay home. New England would go back and then come back here. Some people, I'm sure, have thought, well, why didn't the Patriots just pack for the whole week in case they lost? But if you ask your team to do that, you're basically saying we don't think you're going to win the first game.
You would never do that. No, and sprinkle Christmas in between. Yeah, it was not a great move by Pete Carroll to say that. What's really dangerous for the Dolphins, quite frankly, is if they were to lose here tonight to New England without Curtis Martin, what are the odds of them going to Foxborough and winning on Sunday if the Patriots have Curtis Martin?
Marino throws, and it is caught by Brett Perriman. And Brett takes it to the 44 for a first down.
Brett has really started to fit into this offense for the Dolphins. And sure-handed and kind of a receiver go up and scrap for the football. And Dan Marino really likes that. When he first came in October, he had a little bit of a problem going with the automatics, and sometimes he missed some of those breaks. But he has really come around. Got a little troublesome knee, but you couldn't tell it there. He had an arthroscopic surgery early in October and missed a couple of weeks, and will probably have some more work after the season. He's been a good addition.
It's kind of a chronic knee, Frank. I don't know that it's ever going to get better.
On 1st and 10, here's Abdul-Jabbar swinging to the outside. Nothing happened. They strung him out and bounce him out of bounds. Ted Johnson. Wild card playoffs. Playoff action beginning this weekend. ABC with both games on Saturday. Mike Patrick, Joe Theismann, Ron Jaworski, Leslie Visser will be at the Meadowlands to open things up at noon Eastern time. Vikings Giants, and then our crew will be at Mile High Stadium in Denver. The Jacksonville Jaguars and the Denver Broncos.
A replay of last year's game in which Jacksonville stunned Denver in the first round of the playoffs.
2nd and 15 as Marino throws over the middle, and it is incomplete. Willie Clay banged into Brett Perriman and knocked the ball loose. Marino has hit 8 different receivers tonight, but not once has he put the ball in the hands of his leading receiver, O.J. McDuffie.
There's the handoff by Jimmy Hitchcock into the zone defense. Willie Clay was right there, put a real hurting on Brett Perriman. Perriman never had control of the ball, but he might have been also thinking a little bit about Willie Clay.
But the fact is, he dropped that ball before Clay hit him. On more than several occasions tonight, Dan Marino has laid in a perfect pass and had it dropped.
On 3rd down and 15. Guns one to the outside, and it is Brett Perriman who can't make the play, and it's 4th down.
And frustrated with something that happened on that play. Somebody perhaps breaking off the route he was looking for.
Well, I would imagine Perriman is upset with himself for dropping the ball on the 2nd down play, not the 3rd down play. That ball from Dan Marino too far to the outside, but it would not have come to that if Brett would have held on to the prior one.
John Kidd punting. Dave Meggett moves toward the sideline, fields at the 19 and steps out of bounds at the 29-yard line. 42-yard boot, 10-yard return, 11:49 left in the 3rd. Miami 6, New England nothing.
I talked to Pete Carroll coming out for the second half. He said 1st and 2nd downs where the offense has to improve, so they don't have the long 3rd downs. But Terry Glenn was very upset. He limped into the locker room. Pete Carroll came out, talked to him, said he was upset because he has sore hamstrings, which might explain why he doesn't have any catches in the first half and why I cannot find him on the field at the moment now.
Well, Terry Glenn has missed several games this season, and Bledsoe throws, and Ben Coates is tight end, and Ben fights his way for an 8-yard gain. So Glenn has not caught a pass tonight, and McDuffie on the other side has not caught a pass tonight.
Meanwhile, great effort on the part of Coates. He was stopped for about a 5-yard pickup, and he turned it in to an 8-yard pickup. Why, he's on his way to Honolulu once again for the 4th consecutive time. Watch this battle here. The big man wins it.
2nd and 2. And Keith Byers makes his first catch. And Byers down the sideline, tight-roping his way all the way to the 40-yard line. And for the first time tonight, the Patriots cross into Dolphin territory.
Number 583 in career receptions for Keith Byers, who was a Dolphin before he moved on up to New England. Prior to that, great career at Philadelphia. There are the numbers on Keith Byers.
An embarrassing end to this play for Terrell Buckley. Watch him come in from the right here. And he does nothing to stop Keith Byers, who goes right through him like he's not even there.
From the 40-yard line. And that's caught by Jefferson, and Buckley bangs him out of bounds. And Johnson's going to say he was out of bounds to begin with, but he won't win that argument.
Buckley again playing well off Sean Jefferson, and quick to pick up on it, Drew Bledsoe. Plenty of protection. Buckley taking Jefferson out of bounds and playing way off. That's uncharacteristic of Buckley. He likes to play up very tight.
On 2nd and 4. That's tipped, incomplete. Batted by Tim Bowens. Bowens, 4th year out of Mississippi, and a guy who really does a very solid, steady job in the middle for the Miami Dolphins.
The inside of that defense is pretty good. Zach Thomas, the little stubby linebacker, has done a terrific job. This is 2nd year, but Bowens and Gardner, they've held up really well. They need a little size on the outside. Jason Taylor, a 3rd-round draft pick, is growing into a real fine defensive end, so they're coming along defensively.
George Hill's defense on 3rd down and 4. Bledsoe throws, converts. It's caught by Jefferson, who's become the man tonight. 1st down at the 25-yard line with 10 minutes to go in the 3rd, and Miami leading 6-0, and that's 5 catches for Sean Jefferson.
You know, good execution all the way along the front for the Patriots. The Miami Dolphins come with a blitz. It's picked up. Jefferson breaks off his route. Take a look at the corner blitz coming right there. Calvin Jackson, it's picked up nicely. This is a well-executed offensive adjustment against the blitz by the Patriots.
Sam Madison, the victim, playing on a very sore ankle.
Jefferson takes himself out of the game for a moment, walking off a little gimpily from the 25-yard line. Bledsoe floats one, and into the corner. It is out of bounds. Derek Cullors was there. Almost a perfectly executed play. Almost.
Oh, they got the matchup they were looking for. Cullors goes in motion. They get him locked up on a linebacker, Dwight Hollier, and Hollier just blown away. That is, well, you know, they worked all week on hopefully getting that matchup by putting Cullors in motion. Hollier a good 4 yards behind Derek Cullors. The ball thrown too far over his outside shoulder.
And that terrific catch at the end of it. Boy, Bledsoe would love to have that one back.
2nd down and 10 now from the 25-yard line. And they give it to Cullors, and he picks up 3, tackled by Trace Armstrong, and setting up a 3rd down and 7 from the 22-yard line. Ball is loose, but after the play, and then Taylor gets into it, the rookie.
Well, he's right in the face of Ben Coates, and Coates shoved, and they're still going at it down here, and somebody down on the bottom, an innocent bystander, getting trampled, including one of the officials. Right now, New England must be looking at that goalpost down there and wondering what it's doing there. They haven't had this close a view of the Miami end zone since the last time they played the Dolphins.
And Madison and Troy Brown setting that one off.
3rd and 7. That's the umpire, Ed Kukart. Ooh.
And they don't wear helmets.
3rd and 7. Sean Jefferson is back in the game. They send Coach in motion, and Bledsoe has to take a timeout. Play clock was down to 2. 8:43 left in the 3rd, with Miami leading New England 6-0. Owner of the Dolphins. Big crowd on hand, rising to the occasion. 3rd down and 7 after the timeout. New England from the 22-yard line. Bledsoe off his back foot throws, caught by Meggett, and the slippery one is inside the 10, all the way to the 2-yard line.
What a terrific effort by Dave Meggett. Caught that short of the 1st down. broke it back to the inside. The Dolphin defender, I think, thought he was going to try to take it to the sidelines. Terrific running by Dave Megan. Little move now back to the inside. The Dolphin defender slips on the grass. Megan with the hand down, keeps on his feet, gets the first down and inside the 5-yard line.
They had the right coverage call, Frank. The defender was Anthony Harris, the linebacker. He's locked up on Megan, but he just loses his footing.
Mario Greer is the tailback. He has the football and a touchdown on his first carry of the night.
And this is what we talked about right before the end of the half, that Pete Carroll had to be thrilled that he was going to the locker room down by only 6 points and can take the lead with a touchdown and a conversion.
Good drive. Started at their own 30-yard line. Got the plays when they needed it. And with Curtis Martin out, we see Mario Greer taking it in.
And that was well done by the Patriots offensive line. A massive hole off the left guard.
Adam Vinatieri to try to put New England ahead, which he does. So the big play to Meggett. Greer scores his first touchdown of the season. Only the Pats 5th on the ground all season. Good enough to make it New England 7, Miami 6. Frank Gifford, Dan Deerdorf, Lynn Swan, 7-6 New England. Adam Vinatieri to kick off. 7:50 left in the third, a yard into the end zone. Corey Harris. And straight up the middle and brings it back to the 22-yard line. Bob Kraft with his wife Myra looking on tonight. The owner of the Patriots, a guy who's very happy that his team has gotten into the playoffs for the 3rd time in the 4 years he's owned them. And Wayne Huizinga, who owns the Dolphins and also the world champion Marlins. He's trying to sell the Marlins, and you know when a team wins a championship they always say break up the team, break up the Marlins. Boy, they've broken up the Marlins. Little doubt about that.
Not the most popular man in baseball right now, is it?
From the 22-yard line, New England on top 7-6. Marino under pressure, and Ted Johnson put the pressure on, and he flagged.
That's funny. Shot to the head.
Well, it's either a shot to the head or intentional grounding, one or the other. What?
That's
what
you
was
got me
that?
there.
It's against Miami. We know that. Karate chop.
Personal foul, chop block, 61 and 33 offense. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
Ruddy and Abdul-Jabbar both.
Well, it takes 2 to do a chop block. One guy to do the setup, one guy to do the chopping. You can't cut a guy's legs out from under him if he's in contact with another player.
And you're right, Al. They could have flagged Marino. There was no receiver.
All right, Chad Eaton comes right up the middle. Oh, and they get Jabbar for going in low. It looks like he hit him around the waist. Nonetheless, Tom White saw it from his vantage point, called the chop block. That's a big penalty.
11-yard penalty, 1st and 21. Abdul-Jabbar in a screen. And he gets it out to the 19-yard line. He was able to elude Todd Collins. Chris Sullivan finally stops him. 7.5 to go in the 3rd quarter. Again, the winner of this game hosts a Sunday game to be played either here or in Foxborough, and then the winner of that game goes to Pittsburgh the following weekend. Second down 13 from the 19-yard line. And that is O.J. McDuffie. And that's his first catch of the night up at the 29-yard line.
Leading receiver for the Dolphins, and New England has pretty much taken him out of it. They've been getting underneath coverage on him. They've been getting double coverage. And this time they lock him up with Law. Marino reads it. Law grabbed a handful of jersey.
Just didn't get enough.
It's not enough.
3rd down and 4. deflected, and it's incomplete. Willie McGinnis.
6'5", Willie McGinnis bats it away.
Well, Troy Drayton, the tight end, is responsible for stopping Willie McGinnis at the line of scrimmage, and then it looks like then releasing out into the pattern. He didn't get enough of McGinnis, and he's all over Marino before Dan can get the ball past him. That was just good work by Willie McGinnis.
Dave Meggett back to receive the punt from John Kidd. Meggett at the 30-yard line, and he's up to the 36-yard line as Mike Crawford makes the tackle, and New England has the ball back and a 1-point lead in the third. Here's tonight's Monday Night Football fact brought to you by Prudential. Drew Bledsoe has thrown 2,464 passes in the last 4 years, more than 200 more passes than any player in any 4-year span in NFL history. 3 years under Parcells, which is the amazing thing there, and 1 year under Carroll.
Let me explain a little bit about their problem running the football.
Sure.
And yet this year in 1997, he'll finish the season after tonight's game with 100 less attempts than he's had in some of those prior years. And yet he has more touchdown passes this year than he's ever had. A really good year for Drew Bledsoe.
From the 35, Bledsoe airs it out, but throws it out of bounds for Sean Jefferson. Well out of bounds. Let me just clean up one thing we said before. The winner of this game hosts the wild card game. And if that team then wins the wild card game, they go to Pittsburgh. But if the team that loses tonight's game wins the wild card game, they go to Kansas City. Why? The winner of this game is seeded 3rd. The loser is seeded 6th, and Kansas City seeded 1st.
Did somebody call?
Yes. No, I just.
And
Marty Schottenheimer.
And the last shall play first.
That's right. 2nd down and 10 from the 35. Bledsoe throws. It's caught by Jefferson, and then Buckley rides him back. Forward progress up to the 44. Lynn Swan. What you got, Lynn?
Well, Al, you know Dave Meggett is only 5'7", weighs 190 pounds, but you can always depend on him to make the big play. He gives you 100% all the time. Last week in the losing effort against Pittsburgh, a pass he wasn't supposed to catch. He scored the touchdown and big play tonight. They're going to depend on him more tonight because it's been confirmed that Terry Glenn hurt that hamstring again. He is in the locker room. He will not play in the second half, Al.
So Glenn is gone, and Meggett was questionable before the game. 3rd down and 2. Pete Carroll saying last night he might be inactive. And Bledsoe's going to run for the first down and pick it up to the 49-yard line, something he's done with considerable frequency this season.
He doesn't run it very far, but he has picked up a lot of first downs.
10 of them running.
Well,
pretty lofty running average. He's run it 25 times for a total of 48 yards. That's a 1.9 per carry average, but
some determination there.
The first downs are what counts.
7-yard gain, first down at the 50-yard line. 4.5 to go, 3rd quarter. Bledsoe under pressure, nearly sacked, then officially sacked by Darrell Gardner.
Just credit the coverage on the part of the Miami secondary that's been a struggling secondary. Many changes during the course of the year, and that time a good job by the.
And boy, did the Miami Dolphins defense need a lift, because you could just feel old Mo crawling over onto the sides of the New England Patriots. They right now the Patriots, they've been moving the football, obviously gaining confidence. They've taken the lead. They needed that play by Gardner.
That's Gardner's first full sack of the season. He had a half sack in 15 games coming in 2nd and 19 from the 41, and Bledsoe has to take a timeout, another, mainly because of the crowd. So timeout New England. 3:46 left in the third. Pats by a point. For the AFC East crown, and New England leads by a score of 7-6. It's 2nd and 19. 3:46 to go in the third. After the timeout, looked like they were going to set up a reverse, and now it's Colors making the catch And Derek Cullors on a weird-looking play gets pushed down at the 47-yard line by Jerry Wilson. 3rd and 13 upcoming.
Actually, it almost worked for them. They faked the reverse out of a double set to the right, double flanker set to the right, and then they come back with a screen. And it almost popped.
That's as slow a developing play as you'll ever see.
There's the fake reverse there to Jefferson. Now back to Cullors. And Zach misses. Thomas missed the tackle. They left him in a 3rd and long.
3rd and 13 from the 47. Here comes the blitz. Thomas sneaks through. Little shovel to Coates. And Coates tripped up at the 49 by Jerry Wilson to force a New England punt.
Boy, and a good play by Zach Thomas. He's all over Drew Bledsoe. In any offensive set where you're forcing Ben Coates to remain inside as your safety outlet, it's a plus for you defensively. He's going to slip the block right there. He goes right around. The blocker gets right in on top of Bledsoe. But the key here is that Ben Coates has to remain behind the line of scrimmage.
Tom Tupa's kick, fair catch called for and made at the 13 by O.J. McDuffie with 2 minutes and 16 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter.
Well, that series for Miami aided greatly by the initial sack by Darrell Gardner. They were in desperate need of a big play by somebody to step up, and he did it.
And now they need their offense to come back to life. They've been struggling here in the 2nd half. They came out with such intensity at the very beginning of this game, and it sort of slumped off a little bit in New England. As you mentioned a moment ago, you can almost feel the mode changing. They need to get something happening, and it's going to have to begin with number 13.
Marino at the 13-yard line. And this is Terrace McPhail picking up a couple. Now again, Marino, one of the sidebar stories, and Dan talked about it at the very top of the show, his future here and all of that. And it's not that we know anything more than anybody else at this point, but it's conceivable. If the Dolphins lose this game, this could be his last game ever in Miami.
Well, it's no given or a certainty that Dan Marino will be back here next year. Now, certainly, when you look at the other quarterbacks playing in the National Football League, Dan Marino is still better than most of them.
On 2nd and 7, it's caught by Lamar Thomas. And very few can throw that pass.
Good timing, Rich.
That's exactly right. Let's be serious. There's not a lot of guys that play this game effectively at the quarterback position in the NFL today. And Dan Marino is still one of those guys.
And true, they want to run the football, but you have to have the people to run the football. That ball on a string to Lamar Thomas. He can still gun it with the best of them. Never was all that agile and mobile.
First down of the 26. Marino, a little dump off to McPhail, and a great tackle made by Chris Canty, #1 pick out of Kansas State.
I think it's fair to say that Dan Marino and Jimmy Johnson, they have a working relationship, but I don't think they've yet bonded. Do you think?
No. No, and I think and Jimmy's going to look at the whole picture, and there's no question he knows Marino can play. He knows Marino's a starting quarterback. The question is the future of the Dolphins. What Jimmy perceives as the big picture, and he has the authority right now on 2nd down, batted down by Steve Israel.
Boy, New England once again timing their blitzes, and the scheme of their blitzes have been perfect tonight. Very disruptive.
Well, and they're aided by the fact that they get a blitz called from the side of the field that Dan Marino is going to work. Dan ends up turning and throwing right into Steve Israel. That's good fortune for New England.
Look at that. Marino has thrown more passes than anybody in the league, yet in terms of 30-yard passes, 30 and beyond, only 6 all season. 30th in the league.
Well, quarterback rating is the 2nd lowest he's had in his career.
I think that speaks to McDuffie, Perriman, and Lamar Thomas as well.
3rd down and 10. And that is caught by Perriman. Yes. No. He points to the spot, did one official. And what is he going to say?
Well, he's pointing to the ground.
He said he dropped it.
I agree with you. He ran in pointing to the spot. What he was doing is saying he's pointing to the ground, saying the ball hit the ground.
He's close to the first down marker, and it looked as though he were pointing to where it would be down. He didn't complain, though. When they don't get up yelling and screaming, there's no question about that one. He did not have possession.
Again, a ball that Brett Perriman could have caught. Dan Marino and the Dolphins, the victim of a lot of drops tonight.
John Kidd's kick is a short kick, fielded at the 37, and David Meggett brings it back to the 44 with 4 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Lots of football coming up.
And right before that, the parade.
That's right.
That's exactly right. What a day. What a day that'll be.
And the quarter will end on a 3-yard pickup by Derek Cullors. So it's the end of 3 in Florida. New England 7, Miami 6, and Monday Night Football resumes after this from our ABC station. Dan, I'm so proud of you in the Christmas spirit.
Isn't that precious?
For all the little youngsters out there, we've got Tigger, we've got Pooh, Piglet.
Yep.
Where's Christopher Robbins?
3 guys on a tie.
And you wonder what we do with our clothing allowance, huh? 2nd and 7 from the 49 as we start the fourth quarter. And it's Sean Jefferson continuing to have a big night. First down at the 39-yard line.
And remember all that life that we talked about early in this ball game that the Miami Dolphins were exhibiting when they started this thing, the hitting, the running around, the emotion. I'm not seeing a whole lot of it right now.
And New England without a running game is beginning to find the Achilles tendon of this Dolphin defense, and that's the secondary.
And the Dolphins
is really on target.
The Dolphins, I mean, if they don't win, they're forced to go to New England to play in the cold weather, and then to play 2 more road games just to get a chance to play in the Super Bowl, a nearly impossible task. Derek Cullors on a first down play takes it to the 32-yard line, tackled by.
Did he lose the ball? No, they're saying down. Well, the Miami Dolphins, will have to come to grips with the fact that if they lose here, they lost to the Patriots without Curtis Martin, and then they're facing a task of going up there in cold weather and beating them at home with Curtis Martin.
Meanwhile, Derek Cullors.
He appeared to lose control of that football before his knees hit the ground. Very close.
2nd and 4. They go back to him, and Cullors jammed up at the 32-yard line. Could Curtis Martin have played tonight? As you look at Dave Meggett, you wonder if they had to win to get in. I think you probably would have seen him in uniform.
I don't know.
10 carries out of him.
If you've ever had a separated shoulder, I mean, he might have played 1 play.
If Pete Carroll,
ready to play.
If Pete Carroll was telling us the truth, I have to agree with you, Al, that if it was a all or nothing ball game, he would have played. That was the impression that we were getting from the Patriots.
Right. But he knows that it's more important to win, obviously, Sunday's game than tonight's game. 3rd down and 3, and that way he'll have 6 days to rest it as Bledsoe goes deep, and spinning around, a flag is thrown. Vincent Brisby with Buckley on the coverage.
Buckley very tight all the way. Did he get a handful, though? Brisby just in a straight fly. A little consultation on the sidelines.
The official, who's right on top.
Pass interference. Number 27, defense. That's a first down.
Oh, and a big penalty against Buckley, who was man for man on Brisby. Sometimes you get a defender that plays this tight as Buckley does. He's not playing the ball at all. And he got a hand in the face, a little on the shoulder pad. Nothing really flagrant, but he was not playing the ball at all. He's playing the receiver.
At that point, when the ball is in the air, Buckley clearly put his right hand and right arm back on Brisby.
And it's Ben Coates over the middle. And Coates has a first down and gets gang tackled at the 6-yard line, but it's going to be 1st and goal. Or it's depends where the forward progress is. It was first down at the at the 14-yard line. And they're going to spot it at the 5-yard line. So second down, make it 2nd and 1.
Look at Drew Bledsoe and kind of an uncharacteristic look at him. He was amused by something. Big smile on his face as he got that completion off the coach. Dolphins have done a pretty good job against Ben Coates tonight. Covering underneath and with a deep man, 2-man coverage on Coates most of the way.
Second and a long one from the 5. And they give it to Meggett, who goes through nearly untouched.
And there is no question who is firmly in control of this football game right now.
Oh, and the little man who is questionable tonight has made another big play, David Meggett. Former Giant, the Bill Parcells, took up to New England with him and has remained on. And he was questionable with a hamstring tonight.
Again, wonderful blocking up front by the Patriots offensive line. Moss, Rucci, Woolaball, Lane, Armstrong. Right now they have got the Miami defense clearly back on its heels.
Vinatieri tacks on the extra point. That's Meggett's first rushing touchdown since '95. First time this season New England has 2 rushing touchdowns in the game, and Curtis Martin is in street clothes. Go figure. 14-6.
Up on the old airship.
Absolutely. Vinatieri with a short kick, 11-yard line. Jarris McPhail runs into his own man, and then the Pats wrap him up at the 24-yard line. Ran into Mike Chalensky to start things. ABC's Monday Night Football. 1st and 10 for the Miami Dolphins, trailing by 8. 11:57 left in regulation. Slings it out. It's a juggling catch made by Abdul-Jabbar up to the 32-yard line. A couple of yards shy of the first. 2nd and 2.
And another look at the greatness of Marino, though, looking downfield and just out of the corner of his eye was able to whip it out into the flat and get the completion with the coverage good on the part of New England downfield.
And I know everybody in New England right now a little uncomfortable with this lead. Yes, it's true. They're leading by 8 points. The lead they had last week in the Pittsburgh game and squandered at the end.
2nd and 2 from the 32. Abdul-Jabbar. Well, one thing, Dan, is Abdul-Jabbar picks up the first down. A lot of people wondering if that would have a hangover effect to lose a game like that and come in here tonight. Clearly hasn't.
Well, if they had a hangover, I'd say it's canceled out by the hangover the Dolphins had.
Yes.
Getting beat 41-0 by the Colts. You tell me which one is worse. If you look at the Pittsburgh game, the Patriots played very well. In fact, outplayed Pittsburgh in many areas during the course of that game.
And they think their road win the week before against Jacksonville makes for the 2 best games of the season.
Marino under pressure, dumps it off to Abdul-Jabbar. Flag thrown in the backfield up to the 42-yard line.
Hands to the face.
Brandon Mitchell, number 98.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Number 78. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
Richmond Webb, hands to the face on Brandon Mitchell.
Oh, that's a big penalty. Nullifies a good pickup up close to a 1st down.
Dolphins last week, that's the most decisive loss in league history by a team that entered a game with 7 or more wins than the opponent.
In other words, a really good team getting beaten badly by a really bad team.
Right. 1st and 20 from the 25-yard line. Marino slings it. It's caught by Roosevelt Potts, who runs right into Chris Slade.
The story here in the second half, guys, for Miami offensively is that they're hurting themselves with mistakes. The hands to the face by Richmond Webb negates a pickup and puts them in a long yardage situation. Remember, at the other end of the field, at the end of the 3rd quarter, they had the chop block, which again brought back a big play and made them 1st and forever. They didn't pick up the 1st down. Right now, they're playing both the Patriots and themselves. And they're losing.
2nd down and 18. gets caught up at the 40-yard line, and that's O.J. McDuffie. The Patriots have done a good job taking him out of the game to this point. That's his second catch of the night, a guy who came in leading the team in catches. O.J. now with 74 this season, but only one touchdown.
I'm just looking for that spark of excitement in the Miami huddle. Guys just don't seem to be playing with a lot of energy.
3rd and 4. 5-man rush. Finds Thomas. First down. Takes it to the New England 42-yard line.
And recovering from that penalty, that might get him going. That might start a spark. Being back in a hole and making the 3 good plays to get the first down.
Well, Marino really gunned that in there. Watch Thomas now. He pulls up, finds himself in a little zone situation, and pulls up on the inside. Bounces off Ty Law to get there.
That was a lot of contact between 2 guys 10 or 12 yards downfield.
From the 43-yard line, Marino. Oh, he's lucky he held on to the football as Todd Collins had him wrapped up and nearly extricated the ball.
And that was a mistake by Dan. He had that ball hanging down there for the taking. Boy, that was very fortunate. He had that thing hanging below his waist.
That was Richmond Webb, who was slow getting up, but Dan almost lost the football.
Watch where he carries this thing down there. Ooh,
he
did
lost
lose it. Yep.
Was able to recover.
Luckily, it just went right between his thighs, and he was able to hold on to it that way.
That's a sack for Collins. It's only the second one of his career. 2nd and 13 from the 47-yard line from the gun. The line does its job. Abdul-Jabbar makes the catch, and he's ridden down by Chris Slade inside the 40, setting up a very key 3rd and 6. Gary Stevens will send down the play call.
Jarris McPhail and Parmalee come in. They are good receivers out of the backfield. Last time they came out of this set, they went to O.J. McDuffie, which has also been a good blitz frequency down for New England. Marino counting heads.
Play clock to 4. 3rd and 6. Caught by McDuffie to the 31. So O.J. prior to this drive had 1 catch in the game, and now 2 big ones to move the chains.
He and Marino read that so well. The blitz was coming, and that's why he has been Marino's favorite receiver for most of the season. They are in such good harmony.
And
the blitz is coming, and McDuffie is there.
And the master has started to go to work. We have seen this before.
Many times. 43 game-winning drives in either the 4th quarter or overtime in his stellar career. Marino under pressure, stepping up, lofting it toward the end zone. All kinds of action going on down there, and no flag.
Well, there was some pushing and shoving.
Lamar Thomas was down there with Ty Law.
And how did Dan Marino get out of that without being sacked?
Well, he was in desperate straits for a moment and stepped back up.
I think Lawyer Malloy just went right by Dan Marino, and for a guy who's not supposed to be able to move, and when he comes out to warm up, looks like his legs are full of cement. Watch this nifty move by Marino.
Whoop. He just slides around back there and buys the time.
2nd and 10 from the 31.
Troy Drayton doesn't know where he's going.
Oh boy, number 84, and Marino's going to loft it to him, and it's incomplete.
Oh, and he was hit hard. I don't know. Troy Drayton, and he was really confused.
And I think Dan's going to tell him that that's not a good thing to be.
Again, Malloy came through on the safety blitz along with Henry Thomas.
Now, this isn't what he is supposed to be doing. It's not a dance that he's picked up. Actually, he is illegally in motion and did not draw the flag. But he locked up with Chris Slade, man for man. It would have been, had he maybe known a little more about what he was supposed to do. It was the matchup that they wanted.
3rd and 10. The Dolphins have been very proficient this year on 3rd and 10. And this time the proficiency continues. Bernie Parmalee to the 14-yard line. The Dolphins amazingly have converted more frequently on 3rd and 10 than on 3rd and 1.
And amazingly, the Patriots allow a conversion on 3rd and 10 on a 2-yard dump-off pass. That's exactly what Pete Carroll is hoping they do. Dump it 2 yards to Parmalee. There's no way he can run that far after that. This is exactly what you want to force Dan Marino to do. Go to his 3rd option, but yet where is all the Patriot coverage?
At the 14 with 5:12 left in the 4th. To the ground, Abdul-Jabbar. And he finds a little bit of room and works his way just inside the 10-yard line. Abdul-Jabbar doing a nice job tonight, and thus Lawrence Phillips, who figured to play about a 1/3 of the time, has played a lot less. And there it is. 9 different receivers that Marino has gone to tonight.
Marino having a difficult time hearing the play that's being called into him. A couple of downs now he's struggled to hear.
And he struggled in the red zone this year. Those are bad numbers for the red zone. 38.7% completions, 6 TDs and 3 picks. Not good in the red zone. Caught by Pritchett.
The interceptions are what is really damaging in the red zone. You're just not supposed to take those kind of chances down there, and interceptions in the red zone are kind of rare, Al.
And the amazing thing is people would say, well, 6 TDs, 3 picks in the red zone, not bad. But think about Brett Favre this year. In the red zone, Brett Favre, 24 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions. 0.
And he's not alone either.
A whole bunch of quarterbacks in the league. Elway, the same thing, no picks in the red zone. 3rd and 4 at the 8. Marino throwing, caught by Thomas, breaks a tackle, touchdown.
It'll be decision time.
Spun out of the grasp of Jimmy Hitchcock, and Miami within 2 and going for 2. Obviously.
Go for 2.
Sure. No decision here. This is the proverbial no-brainer. It's just, do they let Marino do it again?
What a unbelievable pass by Marino to Thomas. Thomas had just turned to look at it. It was right there. Not too much on it. He read the defender just right. Did not smoke it to him. Practically caught it for him.
And Jimmy Hitchcock not able to make the tackle.
76-yard drive, going for 2 to try to tie the game. To Abdul-Jabbar to tie it. Flag is thrown.
And this is going to come back. This is going to come back.
It is a premature celebration.
Tom White gave some kind of an indication this was against Miami.
Holding, number 78.
Whoa, baby.
10-yard penalty for retry.
The left tackle is Richmond Webb. He's at the top of your screen, number 78. He's blocking Willie McGinnis. You know, in today's world, that's not, I've seen far worse than that not get called for holding. And there's Pete Carroll running the entire gamut of emotion.
What a double take that was, huh? Whew. Now from the 12-yard line for the 2-point conversion. Marino, and that's broken up, intended for McPhail. And so New England maintains a 2-point advantage. And now you've got a scrum breaking out. Little post-play contact. Johnson is livid. Pats still lead by a deuce. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. Jimmy Johnson has been seething.
It's been a while since we've seen him this upset. He feels that Jarris McPhail the target of Dan Marino on that failed two-point conversion was held by that guy, Teddy Bruschi. And it's pretty hard to argue with Johnson. Bruschi, hey, he did what a lot of linebackers do, and he got away with it.
And he began to discuss the ancestry of the officials on the field.
And that came on the heels of the Richmond Webb hold, negating what would have been a successful conversion. Meggett will down it in the end zone, and they'll take it at the 20. Animation. Major.
Here's that failed two-point conversion attempt. Here's Jarris McPhail right here. Over here is Teddy Bruschi. Watch McPhail cut to the inside. There's Bruschi with the hold and then the hit before the ball gets there. Certainly a mugging by Bruschi, and you can hardly argue with Jimmy Johnson's reaction. They was robbed.
Jimmy, get a grip.
Well, that might be the difference between staying here and going to Foxborough. 3:40 left, regulation. New England from the 20-yard line. Miami has all 3 timeouts remaining. Derek Cullors turns the corner, tackled to the 26-yard line, and stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. Zach Thomas with the hit.
Now, the one thing going for Miami is if they're successful in stopping New England, Alindo Mati tonight has shown that he's got a leg. He nailed a 50-yarder in the first half of tonight's ball game that would have been good from 56 or 57, and Richmond Webb more than anybody in this ballpark tonight. Hope this guy gets a shot at it.
And your first statement is the key, though, Dan. They've got to stop him. The Miami defense has not been able to stop New England here in the second half.
Second down and 4. So again, for the second week in a row, the Pats trying to run out the clock in a close game. Byers would have had the first down in all likelihood, but slipped, lost his footing, stopped at the 29. It's going to be 3rd down and 1. Now the Dolphins, with all of their timeouts, but they're conserving them here. They have all 3, plus the clock stops at the 2-minute warning.
Byers, as you can see, loses his footing right there. Reaches up at the football. He hasn't been touched yet, so he gets that extra yard, and he'll be about a yard short.
For the Pats, it's so eerily similar to last week. The same situation. Trying to protect the lead. The other team has its timeouts.
Although it's 3rd and 7 last week, 3rd and 1 here, a whole lot more palatable.
3rd down and 1 from the 29-yard line.
And they still throw. Oh, baby.
3rd and 1.
They still go to the air.
Page of our Green Bay game. Down near the goal line.
Oh, boy, will they be talking about this all week in Boston.
So 4th and 1. It's the best possible scenario for Miami because they didn't even have to use a timeout.
And the 2-minute warning will stop the clock?
Yep.
That'll be a clock stop anyway and a change of possession, but, oh, man.
And it's a bad Tupa kick. Tupa's had a fabulous night until now.
A fabulous year.
Look at this. They're clear up in midfield.
At the most inopportune time, he's crossed the 50-yard line, taking it all the way to the 47, an 18-yard kick. This is the 2-minute warning. Miami down by 2. Well, Alindo Mate could win the game. With 1:58 to go, Miami has the ball at the 47-yard line. New England is up by 2. Dolphins have all 3 timeouts. When you've got Marino and 1:58 and 3 timeouts, you might as well have a month. And Bob Kraft?
He's got a look on his face where he's expressing a little disbelief that you don't try to pound the ball in there on 3rd and 1.
Dan Marino, 43 game-winning drives, 4th quarter or overtime, most among all active quarterbacks. Comes out to about 3 a year.
Drew Bledsoe did the right thing. He had nobody open. He just threw the ball away. You can't fault Drew.
He didn't make the call either.
On 1st down, Marino throws, and Thomas has to reach behind him to make the catch. Tackled by Jimmy Hitchcock.
That's the best catch Lamar Thomas has made in a while.
And in a very important one. Second down and 5. Dolphins are playing a double game here, trying to get into field goal range and take all the time they can off the clock to leave New England with none.
That's a highlight catch by Lamar Thomas.
Second down and 5. From the 42, Marino has it batted, and it's incomplete. Batted by Chad Eaton.
Pressure right up the middle. We talked about it earlier. That's most effective against Dan Marino, and the blitz was on. They brought 2 backers right up the middle and got into Marino's face.
So it starts to get tight now. Yep. Nowhere near field goal range.
3rd and 5, and in effect at this point in the game you've got 2 downs to get those 5 yards.
Chad Eaton with the hand up there,
and that ball got batted up instead of batted down. That could have been intercepted.
7 defensive backs in for New England.
They like to come from this too, and they're going to.
Marino drops the snap, and he's going to get sacked back at the 47 by McGinnis, a gift sack, and that's going to set up a 4th down.
You know, they should have taken the timeout. They were struggling to beat the play clock. They were down to 2 or 3 seconds left on the clock. Yeah. The Dolphins would have been much better served to take a timeout right there. Instead, a monstrous mistake.
4th and 15. At wildcard Saturday, Minnesota and the Giants, and Jacksonville and Denver right here on ABC.
Here is the snap from center Tim Ruddy. It is there, and for some reason Dan Marino is distracted and doesn't grab it.
Looked like he had called it, Dan.
Yeah, and that's just right there. All he has to do is put his hands together. A good snap by Ruddy.
So it's 4th and 15. The Dolphins from their own 48. They have to get to the 37 to convert, and Marino nearly gets sacked. Throws it up for grabs, intercepted at the 45-yard line by Lawyer Malloy, and Bob Kraft and Myra can hug. And now Miami will have to take its timeouts on defense. They might get the ball back once, but a huge play forced by Chris Canty's corner blitz.
Now, what a great defensive call. The Patriots set back in what was going to look like a prevent defense with their 7 DBs. They brought 2 of them on the blitz. Marino had put everyone into the pattern. It was a great defensive call.
Miami's first turnover of the night.
And yet, when Miami sits down and seriously analyzes this game, they'll really have nobody to blame but themselves, because it's their own mistakes that have cost them this ball game.
Marino didn't need a lawyer there, but he found one.
No, you have to take a look at it and say, you know, the holding penalty on Richmond Webb, several times offensive series were brought to a halt by the hold, and the fumble by Dan Marino, and lots of reason to celebrate in New England. Because I, for one, am highly doubtful that Miami can go up there next Sunday and win in cold weather in New England, after having lost this game here at home to a Patriot team without Curtis Martin. It will be a tremendous accomplishment if the Dolphins can go to New England and win.
A lot of bad memories from 4 weeks ago up there. Dan Marino, 3 interceptions, 2 of them returned for touchdowns, and now they have to go back to the scene of that crime.
Check out the NFL online at that address, NFL.com, as Miami has just taken its 2nd timeout. They had to use one before the 4th and 15. They can stop the clock one more time with 1:06. And Richmond Webb with that crucial holding penalty on what would have been the game-tying 2-point conversion. 2nd and 10, and Bledsoe's just going to kneel down. Miami will stop the clock for the last time. And now you've got a 3rd down play coming up. And so Miami will conceivably get the ball back once more with just a few seconds remaining and no timeouts.
And Patriot questions right now that have to be answered. One, will Curtis Martin be well enough to play next week? And how badly did Terry Glenn re-injure his hamstring? Glenn, who came into the ball game tonight after missing the 5 previous games, played a little in the first half. re-injured his hamstring and didn't make an appearance in the second half. That has to be a big question mark now for New England.
New England, you have to hope they told Terry Glenn, go in and try and let us know. If it starts to pull, starts to tighten, then get out, because we're going to play another one next week. They wanted him tonight, but if there's any risk at all, I think they probably advised him to come out. And you just never know about Curtis Martin and a slightly separated shoulder.
3rd down and 12. And they'll run down the clock as far as they can as the Dolphins look ahead now. The Dolphins have not won a road playoff game since 1972. That was the perfect season when they had to win the AFC Championship game on the road. 0-5 since. So Miami's road to the Super Bowl would be 3 road wins.
Well, actually, Al, if you counted their Super Bowls,
yes,
those are semi-road playoff games. They did win a couple Super Bowls in there, but it has been many a moon, many a Miami moon since they've beaten anybody on the road in the playoffs.
But 4th down and 10. They're going to take a delay here or a timeout as Dante Scarnecchia takes the timeout, and now they will have to punt with 20 seconds left, which means Miami's going to get the ball back with a lot less than that on the clock. New England's road to the Super Bowl would be to go home, beat Miami, then to go to Pittsburgh and beat the Steelers there, and then either go to Kansas City to win the AFC Championship game or face Jacksonville or Denver in Foxborough. That's their road to San Diego.
Well, as we all know, every road is a bunch of little bitty steps. They took a mighty nice step tonight.
Yep.
Coming down here a little bit nicked and winning.
And here's one happy Tom Tupa after his 18-yard punt that set up Miami's potential.
The snap is a little high. The Dolphins obviously trying to block it. And it's fielded at the 4-yard line by Terrell Buckley, who's out of bounds at the 17. And he was in no man's land. Probably better served by letting it go into the end zone, but it barely matters at this point with 10 seconds left.
And another guy who doesn't have to do nearly as much explaining is Larry Kennan, who doesn't have to spend as much time explaining the passing play on 3rd and 1 when they're trying to retain possession of the football.
He's a pretty happy man.
It's all okay when you win. Well, we will see quite a demonstration of an umbrella defense here. 10, 20, 30, 44 yards is the farthest Patriot from the line of scrimmage.
Umbrellas of Shorebird as Marino throws, and it's nearly intercepted, and wasn't only because 2 Patriots banged into each other. Larry Wiggum, who goes to the Pro Bowl as the AFC's special teams player, busted up. 4 seconds left.
He was one of the New England Patriots that picked off Marino in that first game and returned it for a touchdown. Jimmy Hitchcock got the other one, and credit this Patriot defense because they kept the Patriots in this football game in the first half when the New England offense could do nothing.
And that's caught. Barring a penalty, it'll be the final play of the game, and you've got the old cow play. You got McDuffie to Thomas, and they'll just throw the ball up for grabs and try to keep it going. You had 5 different Dolphins touching the football. Here's McPhail. That's a forward lateral. That's a penalty, and that's the end of the game. And Pete Carroll, were it not for last week's disaster, this New England team would have ended the season with 5 consecutive victories. They are playing, as he said, very, very good football, and they come down tonight without their running game, without Martin, without Glenn effect, and somehow, some way, will a victory.
And we go back to the first half, completely dominated by the Miami Dolphins. A 2-to-1 time of possession, 19 minutes and change to 10 minutes in. And what happens? They go to the locker room only up because they kicked 2 field goals.
First time the Patriots have swept the Dolphins in a season series since 1988. They win it by a score of 14-12. Wild card Saturday coming up this weekend on ABC. We'll talk to you from Denver then. Until then, Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Deerdorf, Lynn Swan, Merry Christmas and good night from Miami.